A reminder, the news doesn't end here. Here's what's coming up at 7 a.m. over on WCNC Plus.
Sheriff's offices around North Carolina are facing staffing shortfalls. We went to a number of sheriff's offices and asked them what they're doing to address the issue. We'll have what they say coming up.
The U.S. weighing major options to lower the price of oil, while the conflict in the Middle East will continue to impact your wallet here at home.
If you swear this year's allergy season is hitting harder than ever, you're not wrong. Why our local trees decided to pollinate all at once and what you can do to ease the pain.
And after two nail-biters last night, Duke and Clemson will face off in the ACC semifinals.
We are live at the Spectrum Center with day 4 as the ACC tournament tips off. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus.
If you're heading on I-77 northbound towards Uptown, just be aware there's an accident and vehicle fire that crews are still responding to. Exit 9C onto Wilkinson Boulevard is currently blocked. You will not be able to take the ramp off there, but it's just past John Belt Freeway. We know from medic that 2 people were taken to the hospital with serious injuries.
Clear skies and cold temperatures on our Friday morning, so grab a jacket as you head out the door. Trust me, you're going to want it as we're waking up really into the 20s and 30s. It's 37 degrees right now in Charlotte. We're going to be covering your full weekend weather forecast on WCNC Plus from 7 to 9 a.m. It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
That's beautiful shot of Uptown.
Very nice. All right, folks, we'll see you in just a few minutes streaming over on WCNC Plus. Streaming live at 7 a.m. here on a Friday morning on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington.
We start the hour with breaking news we're following. We now know 4 U.S. service members have died in a plane crash over western Iraq.
That group was part of a crew of 6 flying a refueling tanker when it went down yesterday afternoon. U.S. Central Command says a KC-135 straddle tanker like the one that you see in this video crashed. They say it's not due to hostile or friendly fire. Another aircraft also involved in the incident safely landed. Now, right now, we don't know the names of those 4 service members. Coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to take you live to the Pentagon as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gives us another update on this crash and on the war in Iran.
All right, switching gears now to your weather impact forecast on a Friday morning. One of the coldest mornings, Majestic, we've seen in quite some time.
Especially compared to yesterday when we were waking up to temperatures into the upper 60s, low 70s. Now heading out the door for your Friday morning, it's 37 degrees right now. Even colder, of course, if you're up in the mountains. Look at how gorgeous it is outside, though. That's the trade-off. We have clear conditions, cold temperatures early in the day, and of course, those temperatures will climb as we head into the afternoon. Today's going to be a really nice Friday bottom line. Now, you may want to grab a jacket as you're heading out the door this morning or as you're sending those kids off to school. 32 degrees right at freezing there in Lancaster, 30 in Girard, 28 degrees there in Morganton. But look at how much colder we are right now compared to yesterday at this time. 32 degrees colder here in the Queen City, 38 out towards Girard, and 33 degrees colder there in Hickory. So we're all feeling that chill in the air. With our bus stop forecast, you can see temperatures will continue to really hover into those mid to upper 30s through 9 o'clock this morning. Once we actually have that sunrise, it's going to be beautiful, really, from sunrise to sunset. A good looking Friday forecast. As those kids are coming home from school today, it is going to be sunny and temperatures will rise into the 60s. Satellite and radar looks like this, nice and clear. A great way to start out the day, even though it's a little chilly. Those clear skies will make for a gorgeous sunrise and an overall really pretty day. I bet this will be a popular place to be this weekend, right out there at Lake Norman, as temperatures will be warm today, but even warmer by tomorrow. Current temperatures, these are our air temperatures, so we're right at 34 in Rock Hill, 32 in Lancaster, and 32 right at freezing in Concord. As we're looking throughout the rest of our day today, if you do have some place to be, I'm not seeing really any issues in the forecast. Sunny skies as we're heading into the morning time hours and into the afternoon. Those mid-60s will return. A seasonal day today, really close to our average. We should be at 63. Today I'm forecasting 64. Overnight lows drop only into the low 40s. And then Saturday, do you have plans tomorrow? Hopefully some of those plans take you outside. The big St. Patrick's Day parade going on in Uptown. Couldn't ask for better weather. Even the Charlotte FC game, 76 degrees and clear sunny skies. Looks fantastic. Now Sunday, we will start to see some changes. Temperatures will still be warm. I think we will have a little bit more cloud coverage, and then scattered showers arrive into the afternoon hours. Monday, we're looking at a strong cold front that pushes through. You'll want to keep this in mind because I know how weekends go. We head into our Friday, we get going, we have things to do. You kind of forget sometimes to pay attention to the forecast. This is going to be problematic for us as we're heading into our Monday. This is a strong cold front continuing to pass across the southeast, and with this, we know Monday is going to be wet. We're looking at heavy rain, but now even the possibility of seeing even more storms. So coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to break this down a little bit more, and then after that, we're looking at temperatures that'll be into the 20s. So we'll talk about those chilly temperatures as well. For now, let's send things over to Destiny. She has our first look at traffic here on WCNC Plus, and it's been kind of busy for our Friday morning. Destiny?
It really has. This morning, for about an hour now, we have had the 9C Wilkinson Boulevard lane blocked at I-77 northbound. So that off-ramp to get onto Wilkinson, you will not be able to take it as of right now. We still have police and crews on scene. It seems a couple of fire trucks have left because this was an accident and vehicle fire, but the lane is still blocked. So this is what you can expect right now at exit 9C. And zooming in, we'll get a better picture of where this is. So exit 9C, just past John Belk Freeway, that's what's blocked right now. There was a little bit of a yellow medium impact block right there, but I believe most people take that John Belk Freeway exit. You will still be able to take that. Medic says 2 patients with potentially serious injuries from that crash. Now, as for detours, try to get off of I-77 earlier and navigate your way to Wilkinson Boulevard. A little bit of a backup, though, on westbound Clanton Road, so just be aware of that. We also have a new incident here, a stalled bus, not sure what type of bus it is. The left turn lane is blocked on Freedom Drive at Ashley Road.
This morning, we are working to learn more about several crashes across Charlotte, 2 of them deadly. The most recent happening overnight in East Charlotte. This is video of the scene near the plaza in Hamilton Place, about a block off Central Avenue. We're told 1 person died at the scene. 2 others are fighting for their life. A second crash in North Charlotte left a person dead and another seriously hurt. It happened last night on Statesville Road near Twin Lakes Parkway, which is near North Lake Mall. There's no word yet on what led up to that crash. And we're also working to learn what caused a rollover crash in University City involving a CMPD officer. The department says the officer was responding to a serious call with lights and sirens on when they were hit by another car at the light rail crossing on North Tryon near Orr Road. We're told the officer and the other driver are expected to be okay.
7:06, and right now an urgent search is underway for a missing woman in Union County. The sheriff's office says Kaquilla Singleton was last seen on February 26th. No one has been in contact with her since the 28th. Authorities say her phone is no longer in service. If you see her or you know where she is, call the sheriff's office at that number on your screen. Right now, sheriffs across North Carolina are working to fill some open deputy positions. While some counties say they are nearly fully staffed, others report dozens of vacancies as the competition grows. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live this morning outside the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office with a closer look at the numbers. Richard.
Yeah, good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Ben. Good Friday morning, everyone watching us on the Plus. Basically, a lot of sheriff's departments are dealing with these vacancies. Some, like Mecklenburg County, dealing with it more so than others. All of them saying it's a problem that they're trying to address, I should say, as best as possible. Now, as we look at video, we can tell you this has been going on throughout the state for a while. Sheriffs across our state are doing what they can to keep as many sheriff deputies in the fold. Many departments say retirements, resignations, deputies moving to other agencies for higher pay are the reasons for the shortages. A survey done by several North Carolina counties shows staffing levels vary, with Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office having the highest vacancy rate among those surveyed. They report about 56 open positions, deputy positions, I should say. That's about 18% of its total force. Other agencies report fewer openings. Wake County, Sheriff's Office has about a 10% vacancy rate, while Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office is around 7%. Counties like Union, Iredell, Catawba, and they report even lower numbers. We spoke to a number of sheriffs who say that they're doing what they can to recruit more candidates in a various number of ways.
Going to more colleges. We're looking at military bases as well.
We're one of the only states in the union that has a separate training standards for deputy sheriffs. So it's a little bit more strenuous, a lot more background checks, a lot more in-depth.
Something that kind of sets us apart is that we're a full-service agency here at the Union County Sheriff's Office, which means if we can do something in law enforcement, we do it. We have animal services, we have the detective bureaus, we have, once again, our crime lab, right? We have school resource officers.
And they say because of all that, they have to have higher training. Most of the deputies in the state of North Carolina have a different type of training, a higher level of training, so they get better deputies. And that also adds to some of the shortages, something the sheriffs say they're trying to address as quickly as possible, with, of course, the best candidates. We're outside the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
Concord City Council debating a plan that would tear down a housing duplex on Lincoln Street Southwest. Right now, a temporary memorial sits on the property honoring 3 kids who died in a house fire there 3 years ago. For nearly 2 years after that fire, the property remained untouched for things like investigations and litigations that have to happen. Now the housing department is reviewing environmental impacts before deciding what's next for that property. If the demolition is approved, the family and residents will be notified and accommodations will be made for that more permanent memorial.
Today, CMS will host a community session to gain feedback on its Program Choice Initiative. During those meetings, families will learn more about the proposed program themes, feeder patterns, and long-term opportunities for students. 6 sessions will be offered throughout the day at Ballantyne Ridge High School. The first one starts in about 20 minutes at 7:30 this morning. 2 deadly attacks on U.S. soil as the war in Iran continues. We'll have the details next.
7:12 right now on WCNC Plus. Two deadly acts of violence have shaken the United States. One directed at a synagogue in Michigan, the other at an ROTC class in Virginia. This as overseas strikes in Iran continue. NBC's Alice Barr has those details.
This morning, two communities reeling in the aftermath of suspected targeted violence. In Michigan, an armed man drove his car into a Detroit area synagogue and down a hall while a preschool was in session. Security guards at Temple Israel shot at the driver and he was found dead inside.
We are leading the investigation right now as a targeted act of violence against the Jewish community.
No children or Temple staff were hurt in the attack, but one security officer was injured, and roughly 30 officers were hospitalized for smoke inhalation after the suspect's car caught on fire. The Department of Homeland Security now identifying that suspect as 41-year-old Ayman Mohammed Ghazali, a U.S. citizen originally from Lebanon.
It's a terrible thing. We're going to be right down to the bottom of it.
While in Norfolk, Virginia, a shooting at Old Dominion University is being investigated as a potential act of terrorism. Investigators say 36-year-old Mohammed Baylor Jallo targeted an ROTC class, killing Army Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw and injuring two other Army personnel, before authorities say a group of brave students subdued the suspect, who also died.
Prior to him conducting this act of terrorism, he shouted, stated Allah Akbar.
Jallo, a former member of the Virginia National Guard, was arrested in 2016 for attempting to provide material support to ISIS, according to court documents that also show he pleaded guilty to a terrorism-related charge and was released from prison under supervision in 2024. The two attacks come as the war with Iran rages on, with a focus on that critical oil route, the Strait of Hormuz, that Iran's new supreme leader said in his first public statement must remain closed. And on the war, U.S. Central Command said rescue efforts were underway for the crew of an American military refueling aircraft that went down in friendly airspace in western Iraq, noting that the incident was not due to either hostile or friendly fire. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we've got some new details on one of those stories. A local Lebanese official tells NBC News that several members of the Michigan synagogue's attacker's family were killed in an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon last week. Also, so you know, we are standing by for an update from the Pentagon on a lot of these stories, especially overseas in Iran. That's coming our way. We're expecting it around 8 a.m. this morning in 45 minutes.
The man accused of killing a Savannah, Georgia teacher while fleeing ICE agents last month will face homicide charges. On Thursday, a judge sent Oscar Vasquez Lopez's case to Superior Court. Police said data from his truck shows he was traveling 68 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. He tried to stop just before hitting Dr. Linda Davis. Her vehicle was so severely damaged, firefighters had to cut the roof off to get her out.
Miss Davis was entrapped in the vehicle. She was conscious from officer's testimony. She was conscious upon their arrival, but they could not get her out of the vehicle because of the damage of the vehicle.
Vasquez Lopez has been under a final deportation order since 2024. Officials in the county there say their officers are not allowed to engage in high-speed pursuits for this reason.
Here's a live pic of I-77 near Uptown Wilkinson Boulevard exit, where we're seeing some problems. Up next, Destiny Richards has your latest traffic impacts.
Now many people are stocking up on their allergy medicine and tissues. Some saying this allergy season seems worse than in years past.
Meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees explains why.
A runny nose and watery eyes are common symptoms of spring in the Carolinas due to our plethora of allergens once the weather starts to take a turn. Tree pollen is typically highest this time of year, and 2026 especially, it seems like all our local trees decided to pollinate simultaneously. Dr. Rupen Patel, an allergy and immunology physician at the Carolina Asthma and Allergy Center, says this is partially due to a huge warm-up after a cold end to winter.
Traditionally, we might see waves of pollen, different trees pollinating at different times. Temperatures are a little bit warmer around the planet, and this is allowing pollen counts to come out a little bit earlier every year. In addition, CO2 levels are higher. That's the food for a lot of these plants, and so we see the pollen counts going higher.
He says cedar tree, elm tree, oak and maple pollen will stay elevated through the end of spring, which is why it's important to know what you're allergic to instead of treating all allergens the same.
It could be an infection. It could be allergies. There's a whole bunch of other things that it could be too. And so until you get tested, you don't know where it's coming from.
Dr. Patel says there are many things you can do to limit your exposure from pollen. Keeping windows and doors closed in your house and your car, taking showers at the end of the day so you're not breathing in the pollen all night long, trying an air purifier in your home, and making sure you're changing your AC filter every 3 months. And when it comes to working out, do it inside or in the evening hours when pollen is lower.
So we don't understand fully why that happens, but we do see the spores kind of going up higher in the early parts of the morning, and then they dip down in the evening hours.
If you know you're allergic to pollen, it also helps to take medications before symptoms begin. For WCNC Charlotte, I'm meteorologist Brittany Van Voorhees.
All right, well, good Friday morning, everyone. Let's get a look at that weekend weather forecast because those temperatures are going to get warm again. The biggest weather story this morning, though, is that we mainly have clear conditions and it's gorgeous outside, but it is cold. Many of us waking up to temperatures into the 20s and 30s. Beautiful there in Dallas. Look at this one, though. This is right here, our beautiful Queen City. A little bit of pink hues out there in the sky, a little bit of cloud coverage, but hardly anything. That explains why it's so cold out there currently. Official sunrise today will be at 7:37, and I know many of you're loving those later sunsets. A Friday night, beautiful weather, a sunset at 7:30. Can you ask for more? Here's the good news. Saturday gets even better. We have a beautiful weekend weather forecast with those low to mid 70s returning Saturday and into our Sunday. Sunday, though, we will start to see some changes. Afternoon rain showers start to spread across the Carolinas. Monday, though, you need to stay weather aware because we have a strong cold front pushing through. That'll bring in another round of heavy rain and possibly a few more strong to severe storms. It's far from stormy this morning. It is nice and clear across the Carolinas, which is a nice way to start the day because it's beautiful. Now it is dropping those temperatures. Remember when we have cloud coverage at night and early in the morning, it acts like a blanket, so it helps to keep those temperatures warmer. But when we don't have clouds, we don't have that blanket, so it's cold out the door. 28 degrees right now in Morganton, but as we head into the afternoon, 64 degrees is where we'll top off, which is really close to our normal for this time of the year, which is 63. Across the board, though, really seasonal conditions. Doesn't matter if you're in the mountains or in the city today. It is going to be a nice day across the Carolinas in general. Let's get to this. Tomorrow, do you have plans? Maybe you just want to fire up the barbecue, spend some time outside, have dinner outside with your family. I think it's going to be a great weekend to do that as temperatures will be even warmer, rising into the mid 70s tomorrow. Sunday, some changes arrive, and remember, that's the start of what's coming. Monday is the day where we have all that rain, mainly for the first half of our day into the early afternoon hours, and it's all because of this really strong front that'll be pushing across the southeast. There's noon on Monday, so we're not only just looking at heavy rain, we're also looking at strong to severe thunderstorms, and then a big drop in those temperatures with mid-20s come Wednesday morning. There's that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Gorgeous weather as we're starting out our weekend. Stormy on Monday, and then St. Patrick's Day will wake up below freezing, and then below average daytime highs back-to-back both Tuesday and Wednesday. Destiny, how are the roads? What's going on this morning?
Yeah, not much of an update. We do still have, as the sun comes up, a lane closure, or rather an off-ramp closure on I-77 northbound at Wilkinson Boulevard. So the 9C exit right past John Belt Freeway. So right now this is what we're seeing. CMPD still on the scene, still some emergency crews at the exit turn, the exit curve right there. So once again, as the sun comes up, you will not be able to take this exit onto Wilkinson. So this is what we're seeing right now. In terms of the traffic backup, not really seeing it right now. There was a little bit of yellow here at the exit, but that has since been relieved, but it's really just closed right now. So, but you will still be able to go to Uptown because the John Belt Freeway exit is still open. 2 patients with potentially serious injuries from that. And I advise just getting off of I-77 earlier if you want to get to Wilkinson.
All right, Destiny, thanks for that. Well, today in history, in 2020, Breonna Taylor was killed by Louisville police during a botched raid. That killing brought increased scrutiny to no-knock search warrants and spurred legislation. Louisville passed Breonna's law, eliminating the controversial warrants. Multiple police officers involved in that raid were fired. Her death continues to fuel national conversations about police reform and accountability. All right, approaching 7:25 now. Time for us to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here streaming live on WCNC Plus. Coming up at 7:30, our Miles Harris is going to join us live. He is back at the Spectrum Center with the latest on the ACC men's basketball tournament.
Well, good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Majestic Storm. We're waking up to clear skies and cold temperatures across the Carolinas. 37 degrees right now in the Queen City, and many of us right around freezing. 29 for Lincolnton, 28 there in Morganton, and throughout the rest of the day today, plan for nothing but blue skies and sunshine, and those daytime highs, they'll climb right around those low to mid 60s. So a very seasonal day today. Rain showers return by Sunday afternoon, but really our next weather day, it'll be on Monday. It's going to be a strong front that pushes through across the southeast that is going to bring with it widespread rain by Monday morning and into the afternoon. Not just rain, but also the possibility of a few strong to severe thunderstorms. So get outside and enjoy this weekend's weather forecast and stay close to our team come Monday. All right, Destiny, how are those roads?
If you're traveling northbound on I-77 towards Uptown, exit 9C to Wilkinson Boulevard is blocked because of an accident and vehicle fire. I believe a tow truck just arrived on scene there. So this is going to be closed for a little while longer. Just be aware you'll need to take another way to get to Wilkinson. Also seeing a stalled bus blocking the left turn lane on Freedom Drive outbound at Ashley Road. We're talking about a lot more over on WCNC Plus.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30 on this Friday morning. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. The ACC tournament down to the Final Four tonight in Uptown with a trip to the championship on the line.
All but one of the top 4 seeds made it through to the semis. Let's just say North Carolina not so happy this morning.
WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris once again live from the Spectrum Center with a look at the latest on the tournament. Miles.
Yeah, hey, Ben and Lisa. So the semifinal matchups, they are officially set. And then there were 4, but of course those matchups couldn't have happened without a couple of close, dramatic finishes. And we talk about close, as we were this close to a Duke, North Carolina semifinal matchup, but we have to give credit where credit is due, and that credit goes to the Clemson Tigers this morning. Now, the Clemson Tigers, they did everything they could to hold on to that win yesterday, and they did keep their tournament run going here with that win over North Carolina last night. But that win didn't come easy. You see the Tar Heels, they made a strong push late in that second half, cutting into the deficit after being down as many as 18 points in that second half and even getting to within 1. However, the Tar Heels come back. It just ran out of gas and time with the Tigers winning by just 1 point. Meanwhile, on the other end, Duke, they found their rhythm when it mattered most against Florida State. After a tight game throughout that night and really much of that night, Duke even found themselves down at halftime, but the Blue Devils, they turned it on late using a strong finish to pull away and secure their spot into the semifinal round with a 1-point win of their own. Now, like North Carolina, the Blue Devils, they are dealing with a couple of injuries, especially to 2 key starters. Now, after the game, Coach John Shire talked about the adversity that his team faced in last night's win.
In retrospect, the fact we won and the fact that we had to come back from being down at halftime, being down 8 in the second half, that's been a different position for us. We haven't seen that as much this year. And I thought, I told our team, you can show great character when you're winning. It's not going to say it's easy, because it's not. But I think you get a chance when you're down in a moment like that, missing those 2 guys. Florida State has a ton of confidence. You get a chance to show true character, what it's all about when you're down. And I thought we did that.
Now, guys, we have a nice big stage set up for tonight's action of college basketball with those semifinals in the ACC tournament. So we're going to have Miami and Virginia with that game set the tip off, and they'll face off at 7 o'clock tonight, followed by Duke, and they're going to take on Clemson. So again, at Clemson, they're going to play a 3rd straight North Carolina team in this ACC tournament. So again, a lot of excitement for that one. And Ben and Lisa, as I toss things back to you guys, it's kind of interesting how I noticed it this morning. The scores from both the Duke and North Carolina game, they finished with the exact same score. Obviously, of course, Duke coming out on top, where unfortunately North Carolina fell just short, guys.
What are the chances?
Man, just if there had been a Duke UNC.
Right.
Wow. All right, Miles, thanks for that.
And folks, be sure to join us for Selection Sunday right here on WCNC Plus. Our entire sports team will have special coverage as the brackets revealed this Sunday, starting 7 p.m. Don't want to miss it. Streaming live only right here on WCNC Plus.
Right now, the SBI is investigating after 2 people were found dead in Waxhaw. Town leaders tell us a man and a woman were found dead around 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon on Prescott Glen Parkway. Investigators say this was an isolated incident and there is no threat to the public. In just a few hours, Vice President J.D. Vance will visit North Carolina. He is set to speak at an event in Rocky Mount that's just east of Raleigh. It starts at 2 this afternoon. The doors open at 11. It's his 2nd visit to North Carolina since becoming vice president. Today, North Carolina county election boards will meet to certify primary vote totals in that race between State Senator Phil Berger and Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page. Page holds a narrow lead over the incumbent senator. If the margin of victory is less than 1 percentage point, Berger has until Tuesday to request a recount.
One of South Carolina's most powerful political figures says he's not done yet. Congressman Jim Clyburn announced plans to run for an 18th term. The 85-year-old Democrat's represented the state for more than 30 years. He says he's healthy and ready to keep going.
I do believe that I'm very well equipped and healthy enough to move into the next term, trying to do the things that are necessary to continue that pursuit of perfection.
His decision comes as Democrats hope to win back control of the House in this year's midterm elections in November. Two familiar faces launching a new lobbying group here in Charlotte. Former City Councilman Tark Bakari and Larkin Eggleston join us on this week's edition of Flashpoint right here on WCNC+. The two bring a mix of connections and expertise to the project from two different sides of the political aisle. They aren't calling it lobbying, but instead government relations, something they say Charlotte has been lacking.
Everybody needs help navigating government. Right now, we've got a couple of folks we've been meeting with lately that are nonprofits here in the community that are having funding shortfalls because of things that are going on at the state level and national level.
They also weighed in on things like the I-77 toll lane project, data centers, and the biggest hurdles facing current council. That interview coming your way Monday, 9 p.m. on WCNC+.
South Carolina's governor is blocking a bill that would have kept college athletes' NIL payments secret. NIL, of course, stands for name, image, and likeness. That bill would have kept those contracts out of public records requests, but Governor Henry McMaster says it would hide too much from the public. Now the bill goes back to the state house, where lawmakers will need a 2/3 vote to override the veto. Let's check back in with Majestic now, 7:36. A chill is in the air, but it's really shaping up to be a beautiful day.
Yeah, one of those days you grab a jacket, you call it good. By the afternoon, it is going to be sunny and very comfortable with mid-60s returning. But yeah, I'd say this is the big weather story this morning, how cold it feels, especially after we've had multiple days of record warmth. This morning, kind of a shock to the system. We have 29 degrees there in Lincolnton, 28 in Morganton, but that's the trade-off when we're waking up to clear skies and a gorgeous start to the day. Those temperatures drop because we don't have the cloud coverage to keep us nice and warm. Look at how much colder we are this morning compared to yesterday at this same time. Out there in Wadesboro, we're 41 degrees colder right now, 32 degrees colder here in Charlotte, and 36 if you're waking up there in Chester. So maybe you're getting those kids off to school today, maybe you're heading out for a morning walk, or maybe you just have places to be and things to do. Grab a jacket, you'll want it this morning, but by the afternoon, with those nice low to mid 60s, you may not need it, especially once that sun comes out. That should be a really nice spring day. Satellite and radar across the Carolinas look like this. That strong front has passed. Now back behind it, we're just waking up to clear conditions and that chill in the air. Look at this, another beautiful live camera look coming in from Lake Norman. You can't go wrong with these live cameras across the Carolinas. Tomorrow, we're going to turn up the temperatures just a bit. So today, plan for 60s. For our Saturday, we're back into the mid 70s. If you're heading out to the Charlotte FC game tomorrow, couldn't ask for a better forecast. Maybe you're packing up the family heading out to the St. Patrick's Day parade. There in Uptown should be nice. Overnight Saturday and into Sunday, temperatures stay mild. Even our daytime highs on Sunday, still those low 70s. We will have more cloud coverage as we head through Sunday afternoon, and then eventually some scattered rain showers. Those scattered showers become much more widespread as we're heading towards Monday morning and Monday afternoon. But it's not just widespread behind that. Look at Tuesday, a high of only 44 degrees with those overnight lows dropping down into the mid-20s by Wednesday morning. So coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to walk you through my futurecast. Let's really focus in on Sunday. We'll talk about those rain showers that start to move up a little bit in the afternoon hours, but really how that line starts to form for our Monday and the impacts that we could see here. All right, Destiny, let's get a check on those roads. What's going on? What's the latest?
Well, the latest is that I believe just seconds ago, the I-77 northbound off-ramp to Wilkinson Boulevard just reopened. So just within seconds. That's why it's great to watch WCNC Plus. We get all the latest info for you. This is what it looks like right now. No blockages to be found. So even while this icon is still there, we're going to ignore it because it is clear now. Going to some other incidents, stalled bus, left turn lane is blocked here on Freedom Drive outbound at Ashley Road. It is a CATS bus. This has been going on for the better part of 30 minutes now, so just be aware of that. No accidents, but just the vehicle stalled there. We do have a new accident, though, in Charlotte on Monroe Road outbound at Conference Drive. This is right near East Mecklenburg High School. Not seeing any backups from this right now. It's still very recent. And then going south, we still have this crash on Providence Road inbound at Ardrey Kell Road in South Charlotte. And then we haven't gotten to this one yet out near Lake Wiley. Riley, and that is on Youngblood Road at Zor Road. So just a couple of things to know about this morning. We have not seen any widespread backups from anything this morning, so that is really a testament. Right now we're just seeing a little bit of a slowdown on I-85 northbound out near Gastonia, but that is usual for this time of the morning. Really grateful, though, that there weren't any serious disruptions or impacts from that accident out near Uptown.
A bill has just passed in hopes of tackling the housing affordability crisis. Here's the bipartisan breakthrough next.
In the years since the 2008 financial crisis, home building has lagged behind demand, contributing to a nationwide housing shortage that has pushed prices higher across much of the country, putting the American dream out of the reach for millions of people.
But the Senate passed new legislation Thursday that tackles the housing affordability crisis with the goal of making home ownership more achievable. Amanda Sansone has a look at how this bill could give some hope for home buyers.
A rare bipartisan breakthrough Thursday.
The yeas are 89, the nays are 10. The bill as amended is passed.
The Senate passing the largest piece of housing affordability legislation in a generation.
This is the biggest package of bills to make housing affordable in 30 years.
The 21st Century Road to Housing Act includes dozens of provisions intended to increase housing supply and lower prices.
This landmark bipartisan bill will help tackle the root cause of this crisis by getting more homes built in every community across this country.
Lawmakers say the package aims to spur more construction by encouraging local governments to expand housing development and ease zoning restrictions, removing federal regulatory barriers, banning large investors and Wall Street firms from buying new houses, and expanding manufactured housing, which can often be built faster and at lower cost than traditional homes.
Taken together, these reforms represent a common sense approach to housing policy.
The bill still faces an uncertain future as it now needs to be reconciled with a similar, slimmer package passed by the House of Representatives last month. While President Trump has signaled support for the legislation, he also said this week he won't sign any new laws until Congress passes voter ID reforms. In Washington, I'm Amanda Sansone.
Toyota recalling more than 550,000 vehicles. They include the 2021 to 2024 hybrid and gas-only Highlanders. Regulators say their second-row seats don't always lock into position after adjustment, which could lead to an injury and a collision. Dealers have said they will repair the seats for free. Honda says it expects more than a $15 billion hit tied to electric vehicles. The company announced it plans to cancel development and launch for 3 electric vehicle models. The Japanese automaker cites a slowdown in the U.S. EV market and competition in China. Honda follows Ford and Stellantis and GM, which also posted multi-billion-dollar charges.
Target is rolling out a new baby boutique experience designed to help parents shop for big ticket items. The spaces will feature a curated selection of premium baby brands along with new products. Items like strollers and car seats will be displayed side by side, making it easier to compare and test them. Target says the goal is to simplify shopping for expecting parents who often spend hours researching baby gear before making a purchase. The boutique style concept launches in nearly 200 stores starting this month. And Google Maps getting a big update with 2 new features, Ask Maps and Gemini-powered immersive navigation. Ask Maps lets you chat with maps, asking complex questions and getting personalized answers based on your past searches and trips. Immersive navigation creates a 3D view of roads, buildings, and terrain to make your route more intuitive. The feature is rolling out on Thursday in the U.S. on iOS and on Android. Google Maps turned 20 in 2025 and remains the world's top navigation app with more than 2 billion monthly users.
You know, I didn't use it for the longest time because I found that it's easier mentally to like figure out and remember and things like that.
Yes.
But anymore in Charlotte, with traffic and construction,
yes,
you almost have to have a navigation app just to know what, because it's a fluid situation. It changes day by day.
That's the thing. Even if you know exactly where you're going, all the turns that you would normally make, you don't know if there's going to be some traffic in the area. So it's good to have it on.
Remember back in the day when we were reporters in the field and you'd have that big old book and we'd be sitting in the passenger seat, our photographer would be, and you'd be like, okay,
read the coordinates.
And then you turn and turn and turn and turn. And it's like, and you're like this, like trying to hold this big book.
It's like H13. All right, make it right here, turn it that way.
Destiny Richards
Are we dating ourselves?
is laughing at us because we're old.
What is that? You had to navigate?
Yeah.
Destiny, you know anything we're talking about?
But you know what?
No?
You learn the roads.
That's how you learn the city.
You really learned them.
This is true.
I use MapQuest, so that's as far back as I go. Telling my mom how to get to like my friend's birthday party or something. So not quite that far back.
I didn't know MapQuest was still around. Okay, 7:47 right now. Winds ripped through eastern North Carolina. Neighbors called it, quote, insane. We'll show you some of the damage up next.
time is now 7:50. Severe weather destroyed the American Legion building in Jacksonville, North Carolina on Thursday. Take a look at this. The National Weather Service says straight line winds destroyed that building. A woman who lives in an apartment complex next door to the American Legion says the noise was so loud, quote, it was insane. No one was inside the building. Thousands of homes and businesses throughout eastern North Carolina are still without power. Let's check back in with Majestic now. Thankfully, we don't have anything like that, just dealing with some cooler temperatures right now.
Cold temperatures this morning, sunny skies for our Friday and Saturday, but really by Monday we could have another very similar setup as to what we had yesterday. We are watching another strong cold front pass through Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and some of those storms could become strong to severe again. We'll get to that, but let's start with something easy, a little sunshine for your Friday morning. Look at how gorgeous this is. This is coming in from Monroe. Again, the big weather story this morning is how cold it is, but the trade-off for those clear conditions will be how gorgeous it is. Clear skies and sunshine this morning coming in from Anson County out there in Lylesville. So now's the time to open up those curtains, let in that nice sunlight. Maybe you want to start some coffee. We're looking at 29 degrees there in Lincolnton, 32 there in Boone, and 34 currently in Rock Hill. So much colder compared to yesterday at this time by about 30 to almost 40 degrees. While those temperatures will continue to climb, plan for mid-60s, so very seasonal today. This weekend, it's going to be nice, especially on Saturday. Sunday, we'll start to see a little bit more cloud coverage push through, afternoon scattered showers, but it's Monday, right as we're heading into our new work week, that strong front arrives. Here's that satellite and radar. Perfect conditions really all across the Carolinas, whether you're in the mountains, the city, or even out of the beach this morning. It is really pretty. Our average high temperature this time of the year, it's 63 degrees, and today we're forecasting a high of 64 with mostly sunny skies here in Charlotte. 61 up in Hickory, 54 in Jefferson, and 65 there in Cheraw. Perfect conditions to head outside. Maybe you want to grab your lunch, take it outside, go for a lunch break today. Maybe you want to fire up the barbecue tomorrow. I think I need to do this. It's going to be beautiful tomorrow for our Saturday, plus temperatures will be even warmer with afternoon highs rising back into the mid-70s. A ton of activities going on across the town as we're heading into our Saturday, St. Patrick's Day Parade in Uptown. Lots of things, including the Charlotte FC game, so really nearly perfect conditions there. Sunday, temperatures fall into the low 70s, still very mild. I think we will have a little bit more cloud coverage and then those afternoon scattered showers for our Sunday. Monday's the day that you need to stay weather aware because this is our setup. Let's get straight to it. You can see that front moving in from the west. Strong line of severe thunderstorms, even as it makes it across the Carolinas by Monday morning and especially early Monday afternoon. There's no slowing down. Right now, it seems like we could have multiple strong to severe storms. And again, the biggest concern being strong gusty winds with that. What we're seeing back behind it will be low to mid 20s as we're heading into Wednesday morning. So a chilly start to the morning before eventually another warming trend. There's a Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Hope you can get outside and enjoy the sunshine today. As we're heading towards next week, St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday starts out chilly with a high of only 44 degrees. All right, Destiny, are you following any active crashes right now?
Active crashes, but right now we do have one that was causing some issues that we are now glad it's over. So that is I-77 northbound at Wilkinson. We now have our broad view showing uptown again. That exit has now cleared, exit 9C, and then I-277 traffic moving smoothly now as well. You just have to deal with some I-77 southbound traffic going on right by uptown, but that earlier crash has cleared. Now in uptown, we do have a new accident on Caldwell Street at East 6th right now. That came in with the last couple of minutes. We still have this stalled bus blocking the left turn lane on Freedom Drive outbound at Ashley Road. And then this is also new as well in Northeast Charlotte, and that is North Tryon Street at Sugar Creek Road. I believe NCDOT corrected this to a disabled vehicle, not an accident, but something to be aware of. The center lane is blocked there.
All right, time now, 7:55 on the dot here on WCNC Plus as the sun comes up over the Charlotte skyline. Shout out to all the people in town for the ACC tournament. Welcome to Charlotte. Looks like a really nice weekend ahead for you. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus.
Good Friday morning, everyone. It is gorgeous outside. A meteorologist's majestic storm, and don't forget your jacket before you head out the door. 37 degrees right now, with those temperatures continuing to climb back into the mid-60s later in the day. 29 below freezing in Lincolnton, 28 this morning if you're waking up there in Morganton. Throughout the rest of the day today, plan for nothing but blue, sunny skies, plus very seasonal temperatures right around where we should be for this time of the year. Tomorrow, we're going to turn up the heat. 76 is our forecasted high. Sunday, we'll start to see some changes. Scattered rain showers into the afternoon, but really Monday's the day that you need to stay weather aware as we're tracking a strong line that's going to pull in heavy widespread rain and the possibility of seeing a few isolated strong to severe storms, followed by a big cool down Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, Destiny, how are the roads this morning?
Things are looking good on I-77 once again after that crash and vehicle fire at exit 9C at Wilkinson Boulevard. Things are moving smooth now. Just a little bit of southbound traffic on I-77 that is causing some backups. We do have a new accident on Caldwell Street at East 6th in Uptown, and then this stalled bus still on Freedom Drive outbound at Ashley Road. Follow us for more.
Thanks for streaming live with us here at 8 a.m. on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington.
We are standing by right now as we take live pictures from the Pentagon there in Washington, D.C. We're expecting an update from the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth coming up at any moment, speaking on a number of issues, mainly about the conflict, the war in Iran right now. This, as we have learned, 4 service members died in western Iraq when a fueling plane crashed. At this point, it doesn't appear that it was a result of either enemy or friendly fire. Hopefully, we'll learn more about the contours of how that crash happened. Again, a live briefing from the Pentagon coming your way any moment. As soon as they come out to the stage, we'll bring it to you live right here on WCNC Plus. In the meantime, this morning, we're working to learn more about several crashes here in the Charlotte area, 2 of them deadly. The most recent happening just before 11 last night in East Charlotte. This is video of the scene near the plaza at Hamilton Place. We're told 1 person died at the scene. 2 others are fighting for their lives.
Right now, an urgent search is underway for a missing woman in Union County. The sheriff's office says Kaquila Singleton was last seen on February 26th. No one has been in contact with her since the 28th. Authorities say her phone is no longer in service. If you see her or you know where she might be, call the sheriff's office at that number on your screen. Sheriff's offices across North Carolina are working to fill open deputy positions. Now, while some counties say they are nearly fully staffed, others report dozens of vacancies as competition grows. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live this morning. He is outside the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office with a closer look at the numbers. Richard.
Yeah, good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Ben. Good Friday morning, everyone. As you said, a lot of sheriff's departments are dealing with this issue, none more so than the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office, where it says it has a very large percentage of unhired deputies, and those are positions that it hopes to fill. And some other sheriff's offices we spoke to say they're trying to do the same. All of this calls because of the fact there's a recent survey in North Carolina looked at several counties showing that they had a staffing shortage. Now, many departments say the reason was this was because of resignations, deputies moving to other agencies for higher pay are all part of the problem. Now, Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office has the highest vacancy rate among those surveyed, with about 56 open deputy positions. That's nearly 18% of its workforce. Other agencies report fewer openings. Wake County Sheriff's Office has about a 10% vacancy rate. Cabarrus County around 7%, and counties like Union and Iredell and the Catawba Sheriff's Office also report even lower numbers than that. Now, we spoke to some sheriff's offices around our area. They say they're working to recruit more candidates in a number of ways.
Going to more colleges. We're looking at military bases as well.
We're one of the only states in the union that has a separate training standards for deputy sheriffs. So it's a little bit more strenuous, a lot more background checks, a lot more in depth.
Something that kind of sets us apart is that we're a full service agency here at the Union County Sheriff's Office, which means if we can do something in law enforcement, we do it. We have animal services, we have the detective bureaus, we have, once again, our crime lab, right? We have school resource officers.
A lot of areas, counties are dealing with the same issue, and all of the sheriffs that we spoke to say it's more important to get those positions filled with qualified and very capable deputies rather than just trying to fill them. And the search continues. We're right here at the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. This is Richard Devane. Send it back to you.
All right, Richard, thanks. The Concord City Council debating a plan to tear down a housing duplex on Lincoln Street Southwest. Right now, a temporary memorial sits on that property, honoring 3 kids who died in a house fire there 3 years ago. For nearly 2 years after the fire, the property remained untouched for investigations and litigation. Well, now the housing department is reviewing environmental impacts before deciding what's next for it. If the demolition is approved, the family and residents will be notified and accommodations will be made for that memorial.
All right, we're going to go live now to the Pentagon to get an update this morning from the Defense Secretary.
As I stated during our first press conference on day 2, that was 10 short days ago, the combination of the world's 2 most powerful air forces is unprecedented and unbeatable. Between our Air Force and that of the Israelis, over 15,000 enemy targets have been struck. That's well over 1,000 a day. No other combination of countries in the world can do that. So today, as we speak, we fly over the top of Iran and Tehran. Fighters and bombers all day picking targets as they choose. As our intelligence gets better and better and more refined. Looking up, the IRGC and Iranian regime sees only 2 things on the side of aircraft: the stars and stripes and the Star of David. The evil regime's worst nightmare. Iran has no air defenses. Iran has no air force. Iran has no navy. Their missiles, their missile launchers and drones being destroyed or shot out of the sky. Their missile volume is down 90%. Their one-way attack drones yesterday, down 95%. And as the world is seeing, they are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz. Something we're dealing with. We have been dealing with it, and don't need to worry about it. We're on plan to defeat, destroy, disable all of their meaningful military capabilities at a pace the world has never seen before. But it's not just that Iran doesn't have a functioning air force, or that their entire navy is at the bottom of the Persian Gulf, or their missile force is shrinking daily. Even more importantly, they also don't have the ability to build more. That's the most important component I'd like to emphasize today. Soon and very soon, all of Iran's defense companies will be destroyed. For example, as of 2 days ago, Iran's entire ballistic missile production capacity, every company that builds every component of those missiles, has been functionally defeated, destroyed. Buildings, complexes, and factory lines all across Iran destroyed. So we're shooting down and destroying what missiles they still have in stock, but more importantly, ensuring that they have no ability to make more. Their production lines, their military plants, their defense innovation centers defeated. Iran's leadership is in no better shape. Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured. He put out a statement yesterday, a weak one, actually, but there was no voice and there was no video. It was a written statement. He called for unity. Apparently killing tens of thousands of protesters is his kind of unity. Iran has plenty of cameras and plenty of voice recorders. Why a written statement? I think you know why. His father, dead. He's scared, he's injured, he's on the run, and he lacks legitimacy. It's a mess for them. Who's in charge? Iran may not even know. With every passing hour, we know, and we know they know, that the military capabilities of their evil regime are crumbling. They can barely communicate, let alone coordinate. They're confused, and we know it. Our response? We will keep pressing, we will keep pushing, keep advancing, no quarter, no mercy for our enemies. Yet some in this crew, in the press, just can't stop. Allow me to make a few suggestions. People look up at the TV and they see banners, they see headlines. I used to be in that business, and I know that everything is written intentionally. For example, a banner or a headline, Mideast war intensifies, splashing on the screen the last couple of days, alongside visuals of civilian or energy targets that Iran has hit, because that's what they do. What should the banner read instead? How about Iran increasingly desperate? Because they are. They know it, and so do you, if it can be admitted. Or more fake news from CNN. Reports that the Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. Patently ridiculous, of course. For decades, Iran has threatened shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. This is always what they do, hold the strait hostage. CNN doesn't think we thought of that. It's a fundamentally unserious report. The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better. Another example of a fake headline that I saw yesterday, war widening. Here's a real headline for you for an actual patriotic press. How about Iran shrinking, going underground? You see, Iran's leaders are hiding in bunkers and moving into civilian areas. The only thing that is widening is our advantage. Not to mention our Gulf partners stepping up even more, now going on the offense, and have always been with us on the defense with collective and integrated air defenses. Our will, it is unshakable. Our options, maximized, and our capabilities still building. We're going up, they're going down. As I said from the start, President Trump holds the cards. He'll determine the pace, the tempo, and the timing of this conflict. His hand firmly on the wheel, as well as on the throttle setting. America first, peace through strength, in action. From day one, as our nation expects and the President demands, our warriors have fought with lethality, precision, and rapid innovation. In fact, today will be, yet again, the highest volume of strikes that America has put over the skies of Iran and Tehran. The number of sorties and number of bomber pulses, the highest yet, ramping up and only up. And quantity has a quality of its own as we continue to ramp up. Every tool of AI, of cyber, of space, EW, counter UAS, you name it, we're employing it. Blinding, confusing, and deceiving our enemy. Because we know who the good guys are here. And the American people do too. And that makes my job simple. I serve God, the troops, the country, the Constitution, and the President of the United States, and answer only to those. All in service of victory on the battlefield and the military objectives that we've laid out from day one. Defeat the missiles, missile launchers, and defense industrial base, which I laid out today. Defeat the Navy and deny Iran the ability to have a nuclear weapon. Clear, decisive, achievable. And Admiral Cooper knows, the CENTCOM commander who we spent a couple of hours with last night, that in pursuit of those objectives, we have his back in every way. His commanders know that, and so do the troops in harm's way. Admiral Cooper gets what he needs, the assets, the authorities, the munitions, you name it. We will stop at nothing to win. War is hell. War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker, bad things can happen. American heroes, all of them. And as I have with all of them, as we have, we will greet those heroes at Dover, and their sacrifice will only recommit us to the resolve of this mission. But war in this context and in pursuit of peace is necessary, which is why each day on bended knee we continue to appeal to heaven, to Almighty God's providence, to watch over and give special skill and confidence to our leaders and to our warriors. To those warriors who this nation prays for every single day, I hear from all of you out there who pray for them every day. Stay on bended knee and pray for them. I continue to say to them, Godspeed. May the Lord bless you and keep going. Mr. Chairman, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today. Before I start with an update, I also want to address the tragic loss of our KC-135 refueling aircraft yesterday. The incident occurred over friendly territory in western Iraq while the crew was on a combat mission, and again was not the result, as CENTCOM has said, was not the result of hostile or friendly fire. We're still treating this as an active rescue and recovery operation. As CENTCOM announced this morning, 4 airmen have been recovered, and the Air Force and U.S. Central Command will provide updates as information becomes available. Please keep these brave airmen, their families, friends, and units in your thoughts in the coming hours and days. Our service members make an incredible sacrifice to go forward and do the things that the nation asks of them. It's a reminder of the true cost of the dedication and commitment of the Joint Force. We're also aware of a fire on board the USS Gerald R. Ford. We're thinking about the crew there who are injured in the fire. We believe and hope that everyone will be okay, and we're grateful for that. And for any further questions on that, we'd refer you to NAVCENT or to the Navy. This morning, we enter the 13th day of Operation Epic Fury, and we continue to make progress towards our military objectives. As the Secretary said, today will be our heaviest day of kinetic fires across the operating area. CENTCOM continues to attack ballistic missile and drone capabilities so that they are no longer a threat to U.S. forces, our bases, or our partners. They're continuing to destroy the Iranian Navy to ensure freedom of navigation, and this means going after Iran's mine-laying capability and destroying their ability to attack commercial vessels. And we're targeting their defense industrial base so they cannot rebuild the capabilities that can harm America's interests or our partners in the future. As Admiral Cooper said in his update on Wednesday, Iranian combat power continues to decline as a result of the continued strikes, as the Secretary talked about. We've attacked over 6,000 targets, and our strike packages continue to launch every hour, and we've maintained an unprecedented number of sorties up overhead of Iran. CENTCOM is now persistently over the enemy, and a result, we've seen a reduction in missile and one-way attack fires, as the Secretary said. In less than 2 weeks, we've rendered the Iranian Navy combat ineffective and continue to attack naval vessels, including all of their Soleimani-class warships, which were armed with anti-ship missiles and anti-aircraft weapons. We've made progress, but Iran still has the capability to harm friendly forces and commercial shipping, and our work on this effort continues. But I want to make something clear. The only thing preventing commercial traffic and flow through the Straits right now, which there is some through the Straits, is Iran. They are the belligerents here holding the Straits closed, although there is some traffic moving through there. We've made it a priority to target Iran's mine-laying enterprise, their mine layers, the naval bases and depots, in addition to the missiles that could influence the Straits, and CENTCOM continues to attack those efforts. And we continue to make progress on the industrial base to include factories, weapons, warehouses that are stored in, and we will continue to do so in the coming days, especially today. Now, as I often do, I want to share a little bit about our incredible joint force. Today, I'm going to talk about our incredible artillery force comprised of American soldiers and Marines who've been sinking ships, destroying depots, and launching Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, precision strike missiles, or PrSMs, and high-mobility rocket systems, or HIMARS. From outside Iran, our Army and Marine artillerymen are hitting sites that Iran relies on to project power beyond their borders and protect our deployed. In just the first 13 days of this operation, our artillery forces have made history. They fired the first precision strike missiles ever used in combat, reaching deep into enemy territory. They've used Army ATACMS to sink multiple ships, including a submarine, and they've done all of this with the precision and determination that comes from relentless training and trust in each other and in their weapon systems. Yesterday, I had the incredible honor and privilege of speaking with some of our young soldiers from the 3rd Battalion, 27th Field Artillery Regiment out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the unit and the crew that fired the first precision strike missiles. The soldiers I met came from all over this great country: New York, Texas, Delaware, California. One had been in the Army only 6 months and been in the unit for 2 months and was already deployed. He was the youngest at 20, but you would not know it from the way that they talked about their mission. The others were 22 and 28 years old. They spoke with the sense of calm pride, purpose, and clarity that tells you clearly they understand the weight of what they're doing and the people who depend on them. I asked them to walk me through a fire mission. I asked not just what they do, but what they feel, especially those first crew members on this particular mission. These soldiers basically live in these vehicles behind us. The cab, very tight, 2 folks sit next to each other with the crew commander behind them. It's jammed inside there with their personal weapons and kit. And they sit and wait for a fire mission. And when that fire mission comes, they close the armored doors and begin to program the systems. They then throw 3 simple toggle switches, and 10 to 15 feet behind them, a rocket motor ignites, and the round is headed downrange to do the nation's work. I asked these youngsters, these young, awesome Americans, what does that feel like? And one of them just looked at me and said, "It's awesome." No drama, no hesitation, in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, in the sun, the rain, in the snow, flawless execution. Their Marine counterparts are out there doing the same thing every night. Same work, same pressure, same expectations, same results. And we hand tremendous and enormous responsibility to these young Americans, and they carry it with a level of maturity, grit, professionalism, and tenacity that makes me incredibly proud to be a part of their joint force. Their parents and families would and should be incredibly proud, and their leaders and I trust them to do the deeds that they must do in difficult circumstances every single time. I also want to touch today I want to touch for a moment today on their leadership. These young Americans are led by extraordinary young leaders out at the tactical edge. Yesterday, the battery commander and her NCO were there with this crew on the same video screen. The two of them hardly said a word. They didn't have to. In their eyes, and in particular the commander's eyes, you could see the quiet trust and confidence she had in these soldiers and the rest of their battery. It came through loud and clear, and we appreciate their leadership. When I asked these soldiers yesterday, what is it that you need from the Secretary and I, they looked at each other, paused for a moment, and looked back at me and said, "More rounds, sir." It was awesome. So thank you to those soldiers and Marines out on the firing line supporting our mission, and thank you to their families. Our joint force will continue today to deliver dynamic fires against the enemy from the land, sea, and air. We remain deeply grateful for their service, and for the third time today, I'll mention that today will be our busiest day. This mission remains complex, dangerous, and difficult, and every service member has a family waiting for them to return home. And I want to thank all of the families today who are supporting their deployed forces and those doing the work here in the States. On a personal note today, I also want to thank the Joint Staff and the team that I have the pleasure of working with, some of them right here in this room. They are working 24 hours a day to deliver the options that we must to the Secretary and to the President. Today, as I close, I ask that we remember our fallen and those participating in the recovery operations to bring home our lost KC-135 crew, that we keep those service members and their families in their thoughts and prayers. Those are very, very, very tough days when that knock comes on the door for people on both sides of the door. Again, thank you to our deployed, thank you to our fallen, and to their families, and to the Joint Force. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, sir.
Mr. Chairman. Alexandra Ingersoll, One America News. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Strait of Hormuz and when it might be fully operational again? And how do we ensure our objective of denying Iran a nuclear weapon if they continue to align with our adversaries?
So I'll take it and chime in, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like it all. I want to emphasize what the chairman said about that. The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that. Now, there's a reason why we chose, as one of our primary objectives, destroy the Navy. We understood the ability to interdict shipping is something Iran has done for 40 years. It's key terrain. They've used it as leverage. The world is seeing what they'll do to fight back in that context. And so we've heard them talk about taking various measures, and we're planning for all of them. So we have a plan for every option here. We're working with our interagency partners, and that's not a strait we're going to allow to remain contested or with a lack of flow of commercial goods. So we're aware of that. We're laser focused on our military objectives, but also want to make sure our partners across this government understand we're working with you to make sure that energy flows. And that's an important part. And the second question was on the nuclear capability. As we've said from the beginning, their strategy shifted just from defense of their nuclear facilities to a conventional umbrella of so many missiles that no one would challenge their ability to the opportunity to defeat their nuclear capabilities. And it was growing by the day. So with Iran at its weakest moment, going at that ballistic missile capability creates an opportunity to ensure at any point in time that Iran give up their nuclear capabilities, or if need be, you prevent them from doing it, as the president has done once already with Operation Midnight Hammer, obliterating those capabilities. So the conventional side.
You've been listening to that briefing from the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, as well as the General Dan Kane, giving an update on the war in Iran. This morning we learned about the deaths of 4 U.S. service members and that refueling tanker that crashed yesterday.
We have a hard break we got to get to, and we also have to get to a check of your morning commute and forecast. That's next right here on WCNC Plus.
It's a gorgeous Friday out there across the Carolinas. We're waking up to clear skies and cold temperatures. Right now here in the Queen City, we're at 37 degrees. What a big difference a day can make. Yesterday at this time, we were into the upper 60s and low 70s. 30 degrees in Lincolnton, 28 out there in Morganton. So grab a jacket before you head out the door today. The good news is we get to hold on to that sunshine all throughout our Friday, and those temperatures will continue to rise back into the low to mid 60s. That's a seasonal day for us here in Charlotte. By tomorrow, we're turning up the heat for our Saturday forecast, 76 degrees. We'll start to see some rain showers return by Sunday afternoon, but you do need to stay weather aware as we're heading into Monday, as we'll be watching a strong line of thunderstorms push through the Carolinas again, bringing us some heavy downpours as well. All right, Destiny, let's get a check on those roads. How's it going so far?
Right now, we're really just seeing some slow traffic on I-77 on the southbound side near Uptown, northbound as you're going from South Carolina up into South Charlotte and into Uptown. We do have a serious pedestrian accident, though, near the Spectrum Center. This is on Caldwell Street at East 6th. And then going out to the northwest, we have an accident on Brookshire Boulevard inbound at Idaho Drive.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8:30 on this Friday morning. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. Happening right now, the ACC tournament down to the Final Four tonight in Charlotte with a trip to the championship on the line.
And all but one of the top 4 seeds made it through to the semis, and North Carolina fans not especially happy this morning.
WCNC Charlotte's Miles Harris now live from the Spectrum Center Uptown with a look at the latest from the tournament and the day ahead. Miles.
Yeah, Ben and Lisa, and then there were just 4. So I'm sure a lot of Carolina basketball fans are waking up with a lot of mixed emotions this morning, depending on which team you were rooting for with this ACC tournament. But we can say that we were so close to seeing a Duke North Carolina semifinal matchup. So it would have been their 3rd time matching up this season. But hey, we got to give credit where credit is due. Give credit to Clemson. Those Tigers are able to get things done and move on to this tournament, with the Clemson keeping their tournament run here alive with that win over North Carolina yesterday. But that win, it did not come easy. Now the Tar Heels, they did make a strong push late into that second half, cutting into the deficit and even coming down from as many as 18 to within 1. But the Tar Heels, they just kind of run out of gas and time, with the Tigers winning by just 1 point in that game. Meanwhile, Duke was able to find their rhythm when it mattered most against Florida State after a tight game throughout much of that night, and they even were down at halftime, but the Blue Devils, they turned it on late using a strong finish to pull away and secure their spot into the semifinal round with a 1-point win of their own. Now, like North Carolina, the Blue Devils, they are dealing with a couple of injuries. 2 starters are out on their end, but after the game, Coach Shire talked about the adversity that his team faced after that win.
In retrospect, the fact we won and the fact that we had to come back from being down at halftime, being down 8 in the second half, that's been a different position for us. We haven't seen that as much this year. And I thought, I told our team, you can show great character when you're winning. It's not going to say it's easy, because it's not. But I think you get a chance when you're down in a moment like that, missing those 2 guys. Florida State has a ton of confidence. You get a chance to show true character, what it's all about when you're down. And I thought we did that.
Guys, so the stage is now set for what should be a big, exciting night for college hoops. You've got Virginia, you've got Miami. They're going to face off at 7 o'clock tonight, followed by Duke. They're going to take on Clemson at 9:30. Now, this will be the 3rd straight matchup in this ACC tournament where Clemson will go against a team from North Carolina. But so far, as long as these teams kind of do what they've been doing, should be a fun, exciting night for basketball fans and really for all of the Uptown and Charlotte area. And we can't wait to give you those highlights and more. Over now, reporting live here in Uptown, I'm Miles Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
Miles, you've been covering this for us for 3 days now. What are you most excited about tonight? Which team do you think will do well?
I got to say, my heart might have been a little bit broken with the North Carolina loss, but I am interested to see if Duke can kind of keep doing what they have been doing with the injuries that they have had. So looking forward to see if they can kind of hold on to being the top seed in this tournament and seeing what they can do heading into March Madness.
All right.
There you go. By the way, be sure to join us for Selection Sunday right here on WCNC Plus. Our entire sports team is going to have special coverage as the bracket is revealed Sunday starting at 7 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Streaming it only right here on WCNC Plus.
Well, new this morning, CMPD says a driver is facing charges after hitting a 7-year-old student near a bus stop. Investigators say Darius Oliver drove past the stopped school bus on McCullough Drive Thursday morning and hit the child as he was walking toward the bus. He is charged with felony hit and run, reckless driving, and driving with a revoked license. That child was taken to the hospital for treatment. And right now, the SBI is investigating after 2 people were found dead in Waxhaw. Town leaders tell us a man and a woman were found dead around 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon on Prescott Glen Parkway. Investigators say this was an isolated incident and there is no threat to the public. In just a few hours, Vice President J.D. Vance will visit North Carolina. He is set to speak at an event in Rocky Mount, that's east of Raleigh. It starts at 2 this afternoon. The doors open at 11. It's his 2nd visit to North Carolina since being elected vice president. Today, North Carolina county election boards will meet to certify primary vote totals in the race between State Senator Phil Berger and Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page. Page holds a narrow lead over the incumbent senator. If the margin of victory is less than 1 percentage point, Berger has until Tuesday to request a recount.
One of South Carolina's most powerful political figures says he is not done quite yet. Congressman Jim Clyburn announced plans to run for an 18th term. The 85-year-old Democrats represented the state for more than 30 years. He says he's healthy and he's ready to keep going.
I do believe that I'm very well equipped and healthy enough to move into the next term, trying to do the things that are necessary to continue that pursuit of perfection.
His decision comes as Democrats hope to win back control of the House this November. 2 familiar faces launching a new lobbying group here in Charlotte. Former City Councilman Tark Bakari and Larkin Eggleston. Join us on our latest episode of Flashpoint right here on WCNC Plus. The 2 bring a mix of connections and expertise to the project from 2 different sides of the aisle. They're not calling it lobbying, though. They're calling it government relations, something they say Charlotte's been lacking.
Everybody needs help navigating government. Right now, we've got a couple of folks we've been meeting with lately that are nonprofits here in the community that are having funding shortfalls because of things that are going on at the state level and national level.
We also asked them their takes on the I-77 toll lane project, data centers, and the biggest hurdles facing current council. That's going to air Monday, 9 p.m. right here on WCNC+.
South Carolina's governor is blocking a bill that would have kept college athletes' NIL payments secret. NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. That bill would have kept those contracts out of public records requests. But Governor Henry McMaster says it would hide too much from the public. Now that bill goes back to the State House, where lawmakers will need a 2/3 vote to override the veto. All right, 8:36 now. Let's check back in with Majestic. It's going to be quite a sunny day. A big change from yesterday. We had all that rain.
Dramatically warmer, or actually dramatically cooler this morning, but it is going to be very, very sunny. Compared to yesterday when we had that strong cold front pushing through, here's the thing. I love the forecast today because it doesn't matter where you are across the Carolinas. It looks nearly perfect. Let's take you up into the mountains. Beach Mountain right here. Not even a single cloud in the sky. Maybe you're watching from areas right in the Queen City. Gorgeous look. This is live this morning, and another one even coming in from Myrtle Beach. So maybe you're doing something fun this weekend. Today's going to be nice. Tomorrow even better. We'll start to see some changes as we're heading into our Sunday, but overall not a bad looking weekend. It's 37 degrees. That's a big weather story this morning. How cold it is. I mean, yesterday at this time we were into the 60s and 70s, and now at this point we're in the 20s and 30s. 29 degrees there in Morganton, 30 in Shelby, and right at freezing if you're starting out your day there in Cheraw. Now look at how much colder it is this morning compared to yesterday. 36 degrees colder for Cheraw. We're seeing a significant cool down there in areas in South Carolina, but even right here in the Queen City, everyone is feeling that chill in the air. But the trade-off is we have clear skies, cold temperatures, but those clear skies will make for an overall gorgeous day, and the temperatures will be right around where we should be for this time of the year as we continue to rise back into the low to mid 60s. Overnight lows tonight, they'll be mild, dropping down into the low 40s for most. And then look at our high temperatures tomorrow, getting even warmer with mid to upper 70s returning. 77 degrees tomorrow there in Lancaster. We'll top off at about 76 here in Charlotte. Sunday, temperatures stay very mild, still low 70s. I think we will have a little bit more cloud coverage push through as we head towards Sunday. And it's not until Sunday afternoon that we'll start to see a few scattered showers. But then really the big event starts to move in Monday morning, continuing through Monday afternoon. It's a strong cold front, and that cold front could bring us a possibility of not just heavy downpours and strong gusty winds, but even the threat of a few storms that could become strong to severe. Getting you straight to there, here's our future cast. Now this is early in the morning on Monday. Notice that front is still off to the west of us. Here's 6 o'clock. We're going to see it extend really from the southeast all the way up to the northeast eventually, and then hitting the Carolinas, especially early in the afternoon. We're talking about heavy downpour, rain, lightning strikes, gusty winds. So as we're heading into the weekend, just remember, once we're heading into early next week, we're starting out the week very active with that line pushing through. So stay close to our weather team. Even over the weekend, we'll keep you up to date as we continue to learn more. All right, Destiny, it is 8:39. Let's get a check on those roads. Any new accidents people should know about?
There are a couple that are still lingering right now, but for the most part, we're just seeing a slow traffic on I-77 in certain spots. This is just south of Uptown near Remount. I do want to tell you about this, though. There's a pedestrian accident out near the Spectrum Center on Caldwell Street at E6. If you're attending the ACC tournament, if you're just hanging around Uptown, just be careful out there this morning. There might be emergency crews that are responding to that, and obviously you don't want to get in an accident. In Charlotte this morning, also on Monroe Road outbound at Conference Drive. This has been around for a while near East Meck High School. An accident reported there. Going further south, this has been on the map for a while as well. Providence Road inbound at Ardrey Kell Road. Zooming out again, we're really not seeing many orange spots, just a little bit south of Uptown again on I-77, a little bit in South Charlotte as well. But we've got a lot going on this morning. Going up northwest now, we do have an accident on Brookshire Boulevard inbound at Idaho Drive, and then jumping all the way across to the northeast, Back Creek Church Road at Hanbury Boulevard. All right, two more to talk about that are in South Charlotte here. South Tryon Street northbound, north of Presley Road, Woodlawn Road at Nations Crossing Road. Of course, just drive safely out there, especially as we're heading into the weekend.
Destiny thanks Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is taking aim at what's in your food. Up next, his push to close a loophole that allows some ingredients to bypass FDA review.
Well, perhaps you've seen it in your social media feed. Protein bar David Protein. It's become quite popular recently. It's being sued for allegedly misrepresenting its calorie and fat contents. The lawsuit claims testing allegedly showed the number of calories and total fat was much higher than what was on the label, violating FDA guidelines. David Protein says its products are labeled correctly and they will defend the accuracy of their labeling. Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has set his sights on food standards and what's being added in that food without the FDA's okay. Kennedy says he wants to crack down on what critics consider a loophole, which allows some companies to add ingredients to food without going through a full FDA reviews. Advocacy groups say the system has allowed many substances to enter the food supply without extensive government oversight.
Allowed all of these companies to self-affirm, that's what they call it. It means you can add any ingredient to American food and you don't have to show any studies.
An investigation by the Environmental Working Group says more than 100 substances have been added to foods, drinks, and supplements without FDA approval.
Microsoft says it's launching a new AI tool to help people understand their medical information. It's called Copilot Health. The company says users input their medical records, wearable tech data, and health histories. Then it offers insights and clarity. Microsoft says the data is isolated from the rest of Copilot for security. Well, it is National Nutrition Month, and health experts say taking care of your heart should start early in life. Doctors say a heart-healthy diet, including fruit, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains, can help lower the risk of heart disease later in life. They also warn that issues like high cholesterol can affect children, not just adults. Dietitians advise parents to wisely offer healthy options without pressure.
The more that we try and push certain foods, the more they're going to stray away from them. It's really baby steps. And I know that can feel really frustrating, but if we continue to lay that foundation over time, it's going to create a more open path for them to try new things.
Now, the experts say every meal won't be perfect, and that's okay. The key is continuing to offer healthy options and building good habits over time. You know, I tell my kids you'll get stronger and bigger if you eat that broccoli.
That's right. That's right. Well, right here in North Carolina, triplets were born last week on March 3rd, which happens to be National Triplet Day.
3 on 3. Lindsay Klein caught up with the new mom to see how she and the babies are doing.
When Laura Amador found out she was pregnant in September, she couldn't believe she was carrying not just one baby, but 3.
The news was very shocking. I was not expecting that at all.
While both she and her boyfriend have twins in their family trees, she never expected she would be giving birth to triplets or that her pregnancy would become high risk.
Then later on during my pregnancy, I had got diagnosed with placenta previa. I was at high risk with my 3 babies. I was in and out the hospital the whole month of February.
On March 3rd, she underwent an emergency C-section, giving birth to her 3 bundles of joy on a day dedicated to honoring the unique bond that triplets share.
The nurses had told me, they were like, oh my God, they were born on National Triplets Day. You need to do something about that. Everybody is so excited and just flooded with love towards me and my babies. Yeah, I appreciate everybody for being there for us.
But with that excitement came some obstacles. The triplets were born about 2 months early.
Now they're up in the NICU, trying to fight for their lives.
They've come a long way in the last week, and their health has been improving.
I feel very emotional. Every time I go in there, it's like I have to hold everything in me just to be strong for them. And it hurts because it's like I want to keep myself together for them.
With a support system by her side, Laura says she's feeling stronger every day.
I feel so much better. I'm ready for them to be here already. I just want to hold them and just create memories with them. Just see them grow. Yeah. Be there for them. Be the best mom I can be.
Here's wishing them all the best. Doctors say the baby should be home by May 6th. Laura is hoping it's sooner than that. A GoFundMe has been set up to help the family pay for their expenses.
8:48 right now on your Friday morning as you head out the door. Live pictures right now, I-77 right at Remount. Things moving smoothly right now for your Friday morning commute. Destiny's standing by. She's got a look at traffic coming up.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. It's Friday. Find out what to do this weekend. A lot going on. One of the exciting things is the Catawba Nation Powwow that really starts today and goes all the way through Sunday at Winthrop Coliseum in Rock Hill, South Carolina. There's a dance and drum competition, authentic crafts. There's beadwork, pottery, and indigenous food. It's a fantastic event. All the sights and the sounds, you don't want to miss it. It's something for the whole family. Today through Sunday, Winthrop Coliseum in Rock Hill. For info, go to Catawba Powwow Facebook. All that is right there. Don't miss it. The Catawba Nation Powwow this weekend, and that's what's happening in this area. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
And the weather's going to be perfect for that event this weekend, especially today and into tomorrow. Now, this morning, it's all about that chill in the air. Everyone's going to notice it the moment you step outside, especially because we've been spoiled with such warm weather over the last several days. 37 degrees right now in Charlotte, 33 in Statesville, right at freezing there in Lincolnton, and 29 degrees still in Morganton. Plenty of sunshine from sunrise to sunset, and our daytime highs to be will be right around where we should be for this time of the year. 64 in Charlotte, 66 in Cheraw, and 61 there in Hickory. Gorgeous weather today, but I'll tell you what, if you don't have plans for your Saturday, do something outside. It is going to be beautiful. Maybe fire up the barbecue by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're talking about sunny skies, 73 degrees around dinner time, still holding on to those low 70s. So we're warming up tomorrow. By Sunday, we do have a few more clouds pushing through. Temperatures are going to stay mild, though. Our drought monitor was updated and released, and unfortunately, we don't have any great changes. Now, the rain that we had yesterday does not account for what we do see right here in our drought monitor. Hopefully, we'll have some better updates next Thursday when we get another update accounting for the rain we had yesterday and then the rain that's still to come, especially as we're looking towards Sunday afternoon. Scattered rain showers is about all we're going to see on Sunday, but Monday is a day where we have another strong cold front approaching. Notice this, it's going to be coming in from the west, and I think we'll really start to see our impacts by Monday morning, but especially by Monday early afternoon. This is what radar could look like around noon, 1 o'clock, so some of those storms will be able to turn strong to possibly even severe. So heavy downpours, gusty winds, cloud to ground lightning. We'll be watching everything for you. Then back behind it, if you think it's cold this morning, look at Wednesday morning. 25 degrees. That is going to be another big cool down, and you can see it here in our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Sunny and warm over the next several days, but next week our daytime highs and our overnight lows will drop below the norm. All right, Destiny, let's get a check on those roads.
Yeah, right now we saw just a bunch of crashes disappear off of the map, so this is good news. Right now we're seeing I-77 near mile marker 3, so the Arrowwood exit, and traffic is moving smoothly. Just a little bit of ramp traffic on I-485 at I-85 this morning, but for the most part things are looking good. We do have one accident in the Whitehall area. This is on Arrowwood Road at Whitehall Executive Center Drive. We see some medium impacts there on West Arrowwood Road. And moving all the way across the map to the northeast, Back Creek Church Road, a little bit of traffic on the southbound side at Hanbury Boulevard near I-485. And then that slow ramp traffic I was talking about on I-485 outer loop, off ramp to I-85. But for the most part, things are looking a lot better this morning.
Destiny, thanks. Today in women's history, we remember Susan B. Anthony, who died on this day in 1906. Anthony spent decades campaigning for women's rights to vote and was even arrested in 1872 for casting a ballot in a presidential election. Her work helped pave the way for the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which later granted women the right to vote in 1920. Today, she is remembered as a pioneer in the fight for women's equality. All right, 8:55, time for us to take a quick break. Make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. At the top of the hour, our Jane Monreal takes over live from our Impact studio. She's going to be discussing the assistance veterans in North Carolina can receive when starting a new business. We'll be right back.
We're starting out our Friday morning with blue, sunny skies and chilly temperatures. I'm meteorologist Majestic Storm, and this is the big weather story this morning. Cold as you're heading out the door, 41 in Charlotte, 32 right there in Albemarle, and 33 in Statesville. Morganton, a pretty but cold start to the day with upper 20s early this morning. We'll be looking at plenty of sunshine this afternoon and very seasonal daytime highs as temperatures continue to rise back into the low to mid 60s today. By tomorrow, we're turning up the heat with temperatures rising back into the mid 70s. Sunday, still pretty mild with afternoon scattered showers. Monday, you do need to stay weather aware as we're tracking a strong line of potential severe storms. We'll be watching that for you on Monday. Otherwise, there's that Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Beautiful weather as we're heading into the weekend. Destiny.
Yeah, we have only 2 accidents on the map as we approach 9 o'clock this morning. Things looking a lot better really across the area. We have one accident in the Whitehall area on Arrowwood Road at Whitehall Executive Center Drive, and then another accident right here in the northeast on Back Creek Church Road at Hanbury Boulevard. Across the map, things are looking a lot better. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on WCNC Plus.